babies, and I'm just waiting for them to be bottle fed enough up to weight so that I can bring them home to our farm. This is where we're gonna put the goats. The wind blew that over during the winter. Well, it's more like fall, but anyway, we're gonna stand it back up, turn it around the way we want it faced, and that is their 3-sided enclosure. And this is eventually going to be where they kind of stand on these to jump around and whatever. So I have learned that with baby goats, you need to have them in a smaller space so you don't end up chasing them and they can get used to you. So this will be their forever spot once we, get through the baby phase and they learn to love us. So I'm just super excited about these wood pieces. I called an arborist here in our valley and he brought these stumps to me and he edged off all of the rough edges so that they look pretty. I just think that they're awesome. I think it makes this whole space look really neat. So the goat enclosure is supposed to go from the shipping container all the way down, and we're gonna have 3 different spaces here to rotationally graze my goats. So the space all the way over to the garden space right there, the line of the garden right here. And then behind that will be drive to the fence. So it's a large space, and I don't think that they need this large of a space, but there's definitely room to grow and use whatever we need to. But I was planning on having them get up off the ground on those pieces of wood. They like to be like watchers. They observe things. They're very vocal. So perspective wise, let me give you a perspective. I would eventually like it to go right up against the garden line, which is all these railroad ties right here, if you can see that. And our house is that is our well. So our house will be on this side of that well. So I'm hoping that that is far enough space so that when the goats are being loud, we can hear them, but they aren't going to be a nuisance because they're very vocal as far as I've heard. Isn't that pretty? I think that that will look really neat. I wish you could have tons of grass and a tree in there and stuff, but everything that the goat nibbles on, it will kill. So I'm thinking it'll probably be bare dirt and those stumps. So anyway, I just thought I would share. I'm trying to gather up everything I need for my goats and be prepared so that whenever she says that they're ready, probably about 3 weeks from now, they will be able to come home to us. So this is from right here. This is inside the garden. And the goats can come right up to this eventually when they're larger. So that's quite a large space. I'm not sure how big. We have not measured it. But what my plan is to be able to garden here and throw some stuff over to the goats. So when I'm out here, I can talk to my goats and pet them and be right in here. This big space here is my grain, garlic right now. I'm always going to be changing this. I could even change it into a pathway, but I had to get the garlic in the ground last year and I wasn't sure where to put it. So that's where the garlic got sat this year. And then where I'm standing inside this one, I'm going to need to get cardboard boxes. And this is my next, oh, just kidding. We changed this to my compost bin. This is the compost bin, then a line, and then this is grain. We've decided we'd like to have the grain kind of more by the house so that we can see the grain, and the compost is furthest from the home. Anyway, I started out telling you about my milking goats. They have exceptional bloodlines and I'm super excited to get them. They're purebred Nubians and I can't wait for everybody to watch them grow up and for us to get to know goats and get them bred and start milking goats and making cheese and all kinds of things on our farm. So it's just the beginning of a new exciting venture for me. And I just cannot even wait. So anyway, this is what the goat space will be. And this is kind of what it will look like.